Hey everybody, Christy Birchville here. We are looking today at Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verses 7 through 12. If you haven't been keeping up, you can always go back and check the rest of the playlist through the series and the link that's in the description. But today's is a little more difficult to take. So we've seen Solomon struggling. We've seen all the things he's tried to find meaning and purpose in his life. And today, as we read these verses, you really get the impression he is so depressed. It really is what you get. There's so many aspects of depression that you kind of see evidenced through these. He is hopeless. He really doesn't see the prospects and things, and why in the world would we do any of this? Why even bother? You look at verse 12, in chapter 6, verse 12, it says, "For who knows what is good for a person in life during the few and meaningless days they pass through like a shadow? Who can tell them what will happen under the sun after they are gone?" He's looking for purpose. He's looking for meaning. And he realizes, as smart as he is, as much as he knows, and as much as he's done, he has no idea. He has no idea what's going to happen. He cannot predict the future. He cannot determine what's going to happen going forward. And that is a bit daunting for him. So when we realize this, what we come to, and the conclusion that he ultimately reaches, that we have to reach as well, is we don't know. What we do know is God. And God knows what's going to happen. God knows what's going to come. You see, that's where we have to get to. And we're not placing faith and trust in ourselves to be able to get us through the next situation or get us through the next circumstance. We have to place our faith and trust in God so that He is able to then lead us the way we need to be led, realizing we have no idea where He's taking us. We may not understand the final pathway that we're supposed to go down or what the end result's going to look like. But we can trust God and trust that He'll be true to the character and nature of who He is. We've talked a lot about Solomon being an example. Our previous series was over Ruth, and Ruth setting an example of how to live the life that God requires. And she does such a good job of it. So we came to study Solomon, who really did a terrible job of trying to live that life. And this is one of the reasons. In Ruth's life, you would see her trusting God, trusting in Naomi, trusting in people to be able to care for her and lead her. In Solomon, you see him trusting himself. For almost the whole of his life, he trusted in all these other things. Which are you? What are you trusting in? Are you trusting in your own intelligence and your own smarts and your own go get 'em attitude? Are you realizing that, like Solomon, it's all going to be meaningless and we don't know it anyway? So we need to trust in God. Some questions to ask yourself as you go through the day. Definitely take time to reflect and figure out where you're at. And are there some things that you need to be able to surrender to allow God to lead you in? Would love to hear your comments and thoughts on this lesson. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.